Forget getting rid of fossil fuels. It doesn't matter anymore. To really save the planet, we need to get rid of brakes and tires. Environmentalists now say driving an electric vehicle may not be enough. The Washington Post reports today that tires, not tailpipes, are spewing more pollution from your car. Quote, wear and tear on vehicles' tires and brakes emit fine particles into the air linked to heart and lung disease. The new guidance from environmentalists comes as their electrical vehicle push runs out of battery. You might remember we actually predicted this going all the way back to January.
We're seeing it in the showrooms. We're hitting a brick wall. We can't sell these cars. I own a Mercedes-Benz dealership and, and a BMW dealership, and they're taking electric cars back because we can't sell them. They're coming in the showrooms. They don't want electric. Everyone's afraid of electric. The infrastructure's not there. The grid can't handle it.
All right, Axios now reports unsold EVs pile up nationwide. The supply of EVs has swelled 350% this year. 92,000 of them sit on car lots. That's a 92-day supply. Compare that to dealers having just a 54-day supply of gas-powered vehicles. With us now, Sergey Paltsev, senior research scientist at MIT Energy's Initiative, and Washington Post reporter Kasha Patel with us now. All right, Professor, we're going to start with you from MIT. Real quick, is this sort of representative or emblematic that EVs were not ready for prime time?
No, I don't think so. And I like the title of your program, which is On Balance. So just to stay on balance, EVs are indeed slowly entering the market. And indeed, there are a lot of issues which still need to be resolved. But the uptake of the electric cars has been very robust, at least in 3 parts of the world, in Europe, most of all, in the United States and in China. In fact, half of the electric vehicles, half of the electric cars are actually produced and sold in China last year. So, but you have mentioned some of the issues which need to be resolved, and it's not one-dimensional, and we need to take a look at all of these dimensions in order to make sure that we are doing the right thing.
Yeah, Kasha, I'm interested sort of in this reporting that you have of sort of talking about now that, hey, it's not tailpipes anymore, but it's the brakes, it's the tires, on and on and on. Is there any sort of realization that at some point people are going to say, enough is enough, I can't do any more, I can't afford to do any more, and the continued push is just going to turn people off?
I mean, I don't think that is a mentality that people should have, because there's a lot of things.
I'm not asking whether people should have it. I'm asking if there's any realization that there's a lot of America that might have it.
I mean, perhaps, right? Whenever you come out with new reports, the goal of my reporting was to show, hey, we've done a pretty good job at reducing, toxins, particulate pollution from tailpipes. But at the same time, don't forget about the other things that might be increasing, which are emissions from your tires and your brakes. And that's not to say that, oh, this is something we have to live with. I mean, if you do regulations, that could work. In my reporting, I also talked about more natural sources of rubber, like dandelion tires, which could actually have a lot of implications because we can produce that here in America. So you have less supply chain issues, less greenhouse gas from having to transport it to a lot of places. So it's not necessarily like, hey, here's another hurdle that seems impassable. It's more of like, hey, here's a problem we didn't know about before, might not have known about as much before, and maybe we should shift our attention here. It's just like the professor said, it's another thing we just have to consider as we move to EVs.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.